Have you ever felt like something's missing, even when life looks perfect on the outside? That emptiness isn't about money, love, or success. It's your soul's quiet cry for truth, for awakening. In this video, we begin a life-changing journey into the forgotten wisdom of the soul, an inner revolution that reveals your true nature, unlocks hidden dimensions of consciousness, and dissolves the illusion of separation. Chapter 1: You Are the World. Have you ever felt like something essential is missing, no matter how much you achieve? That hunger isn't for food, success, or even love. It's the soul's quiet cry for meaning, for transformation. This journey begins not out there, but deep within. Across ancient traditions, seekers dove into themselves in search of the pearl beyond price, the essence, the divine breath, the water of life. In today's language, we call it transformation. It's the alchemy that turns fear into courage, doubt into clarity, separation into unity. Modern life, though ruled by the rational brain, has left many spiritually starved. We are told to seek answers in the external world, but the most sacred truths still live within us, untouched by time or science. Spirit, once accepted without question, is now hidden behind the mask of daily routine. Yet even now, you are a book of secrets waiting to be opened. The first secret? The mystery of life is real. The life we see is only a thin layer, covering a vast, interconnected reality beneath. In that deeper reality, you already know your purpose. There is no confusion, no division, only love and a shared drive to help creation grow. If you've ever been moved by music, shaken by nature's beauty, or awed by a sudden flash of knowing, you've glimpsed that hidden world. Millions have experienced these moments. Yet we're trained to overlook them, to doubt what we feel most deeply. But your body hasn't forgotten. Inside you is a vast intelligence, every cell quietly obeying a code of purpose, connection, creativity, and balance. This is not metaphor, it's biology. Your cells don't hoard, they give. They don't isolate, they bond. They don't cling to the past, they adapt. Each cell surrenders to a higher purpose, the whole. So, if our cells live in harmony, why don't we? The wisdom of life isn't distant. It's living through you, right now. The real transformation doesn't come from new facts or teachers, it comes from remembering what you already are. The moment you say, I must know. I can't wait another second, the book of secrets begins to open. You are not separate from the divine. At the soul level, you are the world. Chapter 2: The world is in you. What if everything you experience, every sound, sight, face, or sunset, isn't something out there, but something rising from within you? The second secret of life reveals this powerful truth: you're not in the world. The world is in you. You might think you live in a vast, material universe. That you're a speck in a sea of stars. But neuroscience, and ancient wisdom, tell another story. Your brain doesn't perceive reality. It constructs it. There is no sunlight inside your skull, yet you see light. There is no sound within your brain, yet you hear music. There's only a dance of electricity and chemistry, orchestrated into experience by something more profound, your awareness. Like dreamers at night, we move through waking life, convinced it's real simply because our minds say so. But that's the trick, the dream and the waking world are generated by the same machinery. The difference? Only your belief. Centuries ago, humanity lived by the understanding that life is one seamless reality, animated by a single divine source, whether called God, Brahman, or Tao. Everything, including you, was an expression of this infinite intelligence. Science now glimpses what the sages always knew. Insects metamorphose with cosmic precision, guided by hormones attuned to the Earth's rotation. The same molecules that allow wings to flap in dragonflies pulse in your beating heart. What connects all this? Not chance, but intent. This is no mystical fantasy. The same intelligence that shapes a butterfly shapes your thoughts, your body, your emotions. And it doesn't stop at your skin. Everything you see, touch, taste, and love is a mirror of your inner world. You are the author of your reality. Not your ego, not your opinions, but the deep self that breathes, senses, and creates. Yet most of us live trapped in the illusion of separation. We believe we're alone, that others are enemies, and that the world is fixed. This lie creates conflict and suffering. In the body, when cells forget their shared purpose, they attack each other, an autoimmune disease. In society, the same forgetting breeds war. But remember, your surroundings, your relationships, even the nightly news, all reflect the world within you. What you see out there is just a projection of what lives in here. To reclaim your creative power, start simply. Look at a rose, not as an object, but as a moment of awareness touching itself. Without you, the rose has no color, no scent, no softness. You and the rose are two waves on the same ocean of being. You are not a passive observer, you are the source. The second secret isn't just a shift in thinking. It's a revolution of perception. When you realize the world is in you, separation dissolves. What remains is unity, creativity, and freedom. And that is where true transformation begins. Chapter 3, 4 Paths Lead to Unity. The journey to awakening begins with a single truth: there is one reality. This isn't a belief, it's a shift in awareness. A new way of participating in life. Think of it like flying. To a passenger, flight feels mysterious, even terrifying. To the pilot, it's familiar. But the designer of the aircraft? They've mastered the laws of nature to shape reality itself. Spiritually, we evolve in the same way. We begin as passengers, reacting to life through the five senses, bound by fear, ego, and separation. But as our awareness expands, we step into the pilot's seat. We harness natural laws, and eventually, we rise to become co-creators, designers of our own reality. The bridge is consciousness. It's not a vague concept, it's the potential for all creation. The more consciousness you cultivate, the more reality becomes your canvas. You've always been part of creation. But here's the irony: we've used our creative power to build cages instead of wings. We are the prisoner, the jailer, and the hero, waiting for the moment we set ourselves free. So how do we move from passive existence to active participation in unity? We begin by listening to our awareness. Subtle moments offer the way: a peaceful pause, a flash of inner knowing, the sudden sense that something greater is moving through you. These are hints, threads that tug you toward your deeper self. To follow them is to choose one of 4 timeless paths, called yogas, ways of reuniting with the One. Bhakti Yoga is the path of love. When your personal love expands beyond self and family to embrace all of creation, it becomes divine. You long not just for connection, but for God. Karma Yoga is the path of selfless action. You act without craving results. Over time, your personal will yields to a universal one. Action becomes sacred. Jnana Yoga is the path of knowledge. As your inner dialogue quiets, thinking becomes knowing. Eventually, your mind merges with the mind of God, where wisdom answers every question. Raj Yoga, the royal path, is the way of meditation. It leads directly to the source, pure being, where all the other paths meet. These paths aren't exotic or exclusive. Every human feels, thinks, acts, and exists. The sacred is woven into daily life. The challenge is to favor the subtle over the gross, to choose love over judgment, peace over conflict, stillness over chaos. And when you do, the world reflects that choice. You don't have to renounce the world, just your old perceptions of it. Start fresh. Start now. In the quiet space of meditation, or in a single moment of awareness, the path reveals itself. You are not here to be ruled by what you see. You are here to awaken the one who sees. And that seer, you, is already whole. Chapter 4, What you seek, you already are. We live our lives chasing love, chasing purpose, chasing peace. Some seek God, others chase wealth. Some meditate, others hustle. But here's the great paradox, the spiritual twist that turns everything inside out. What you're seeking, you already are. The peace you crave? It lives within your awareness. The purpose you long for? It's already guiding you. The love you ache for? You are its source. As a young man in New Delhi, I saw 2 types of people. The materialists, sleeping late, partying through the night, dreaming of whiskey and freedom. And the seekers, Westerners with backpacks full of hope, waking at dawn to chant and search for holy men. Both were chasing something. One craved pleasure, the other craved meaning. But over time, I saw the trap in both pursuits. Seeking, whether material or spiritual, starts with a flawed idea that what you want is somewhere else. The 4th spiritual secret is a radical reminder. You're not on a journey to find your true self. You're on a journey to remember you never left. Real growth isn't about chasing the divine. It's about stopping long enough to realize you are divine. The same consciousness that creates galaxies beats your heart. You are not separate. You are not incomplete. But beware the traps of spiritual materialism, the mistaken belief that enlightenment is a destination you must strive toward. If you catch yourself thinking, I need a map to find truth. I'll arrive once I meditate enough. If I improve myself more, I'll finally be ready. One day, a miracle will prove I've made it. Then you're still seeking in circles. Here's the truth: spiritual awakening doesn't follow a timeline. It doesn't reward struggle. It unfolds naturally. Like a child growing into their next stage, your soul knows when it's ready. The problem isn't that we haven't arrived, it's that we've forgotten we're already home. Your real self isn't something to achieve, it's the silent witness already watching, already aware. This witness doesn't judge. It doesn't chase. It simply is. And when you meet that presence, the one behind all your thoughts, fears, emotions, you discover something astonishing: you've never been broken. Your awareness is whole. It always was. You don't need to earn the right to know God. You don't need to become someone new. You simply need to let go of the voices that told you otherwise. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the need to get there. Let go of the idea that your worth lies on the other side of effort. Sit with yourself. In stillness. In truth. Follow the flow of your own awareness. Listen to the quiet. The subtle. The real. That's where your true self whispers. You're already here. So stop waiting for the miracle. You are the miracle. Chapter 5. The cause of suffering is unreality. Why do we suffer? Not just feel pain, but truly suffer? Pain is natural. It's the body's call to attention. It arises, it heals, it moves on. But suffering. Suffering is pain we refuse to release. And here lies the fifth secret. Suffering doesn't come from pain, it comes from unreality. It's the stories we tell ourselves. The false images we cling to. The silent agreements we make with our fear, shame, and expectations. Most turn to spirituality because of suffering. They hope that God, or meditation, or the soul can offer an escape. But often, what they find is no better than temporary relief. Why? Because they're still trying to fix the surface, when the root of the problem lies deep in perception. We suffer because we accept distorted realities. We say, I'm not enough. I'm broken. I must hold on to this pain to be good, to be punished, to be seen. But suffering is not noble. It's not required. And it's not your true nature. Look closer. A girl starving herself because she believes she's overweight. A man crushed by grief, not just for the loss, but because he believes his pain must match others' expectations. A family stuck in cycles of silence and shame, preserving suffering to preserve peace. These aren't facts. They're agreements with illusion. Buddha said that life hurts not because of pain, but because we never question why we hold on to it. We blot it out with distractions, TV, food, noise, endless scrolling. But underneath, the suffering waits. To begin healing, we must break the cycle. Stop reinforcing false identities. Stop comparing ourselves to others. Stop clinging to pain as if it defines us. Stop entering relationships that validate our wounds. And above all, stop believing the voice that says, this is just how I am. Here's the truth: you are not your story. You are not your hurt. You are the one who sees it. Suffering thrives on confusion, but clarity begins the moment you return to your true center, the simple I am. Not I am broken. Not I am a failure. Just, I am. In Sanskrit, the 5 causes of suffering, the kleshas, are like a cascade. 1. Not knowing what is real. 2. Clinging to what is unreal. 3. Fearing what is unreal. 4. Believing in a false self. 5. Fearing death. But the chain can be broken at any point. With awareness, suffering begins to unravel. You don't need to fight the pain. You need to stop feeding the illusion. The freedom you seek isn't complicated. It's simple. It's presence. It's the clear, open space inside you that says, I am here. I exist. And that is enough. Let suffering dissolve, not through struggle, but by choosing to be real. Chapter 6. Freedom tames the mind. Do you love your mind? Most of us don't. We live inside it, but we rarely feel at peace with it. We wrestle with thoughts, get dragged into moods, and struggle to silence the voices that loop endlessly, second-guessing, fearing, doubting. The sixth secret reveals a paradox. You don't tame the mind by controlling it. You tame it by setting it free. That may sound strange. Isn't the wild mind like a wild elephant or a restless monkey? Shouldn't it be tied down, trained, reined in? That's the old approach: discipline, suppression, resistance. But what if the mind acts wild because we're trying to cage it? What if its chaos is just trapped energy, seeking flow? Ancient Indian sages called this trapped energy samskara, mental grooves carved by repeated thoughts and behaviors. Each time you react the same way, you deepen the groove. Over time, your mind doesn't choose freely. It repeats. It loops. It obeys patterns from the past. Think of a rageaholic. Their anger builds like pressure behind a dam. One minor trigger, an offhand comment, a delayed response, and the dam bursts. Afterward, they feel guilt, shame, remorse. They promise to change. But the pattern returns. Why? Because they're not choosing rage, it's choosing them. This is samskara. It's not just about anger. It shows up as anxiety, addiction, fear, shame, compulsive control, and endless overthinking. So how do we break free? First, we stop using force. We stop trying to fix the mind after the fact with manipulation, control, or denial. Manipulation says, I'll get what I want, even if I have to twist the truth. Control says, if I hold on tightly enough, nothing will go wrong. Denial whispers, if I don't look at the pain, maybe it will disappear. Each of these responses is born from fear, and each deepens the samskara. To free the mind, we must observe without clinging. Let thoughts rise and fall like waves. Don't chase them. Don't resist them. Just witness them. This is the doorway to peace. It's not easy. Inside, we all carry a chorus of voices, praise and judgment, hope and fear. And too often, we let the loudest voice become our truth. But you are not that noise. You are the awareness behind the noise. The silence beneath the storm. Freedom begins when you stop identifying with every voice. Freedom expands when you stop defending a self-image. Freedom stabilizes when you make choices, not from habit, but from presence. And eventually, a new state emerges, choiceless awareness, where decisions arise not from calculation, but from clarity. In this state, you don't agonize over what's right. You align with what feels whole, alive, and true. The universe isn't keeping score. It's simply responding to your awareness. Yes, your choices matter. But they aren't permanent. Even a so-called wrong decision can become the perfect next step in your unfolding. Every detour holds potential. Every road connects back to your path. To fully tame the mind, we must learn to let go. Let go of clinging. Let go of overthinking. Let go of needing to be right. Let go of chasing approval. And instead, tune into the deeper current, the stream of joy that flows through all of life. The one that sings when you wake up and whispers, "You're already whole." This is the real freedom. Not controlling the mind, but being free with it. Not escaping thought, but no longer being ruled by it. Not fighting the self, but finally being at home within it. And when that happens, the mind becomes what it was always meant to be, not your master, not your enemy, but your mirror. And your servant. Chapter 7, Every life is spiritual. Whether you believe in God or not, you're already living a spiritual life. Sounds radical, right? But here's the truth. You can't not be spiritual. You are part of the same creative process as saints, sages, and seekers. The universe is living through you right now. Some say the world's religious. Others say it's secular. But if you watch the lives of both camps unfold, you'd see something curious. Their joys, struggles, fears, and triumphs? Strikingly similar. Because beneath beliefs, rituals, and dogma, we all exist within the same universal operating system. This chapter reveals the seventh secret. Every life is spiritual, not because of belief, but because of being. You're not separate from the source. You never were. But when you begin to live consciously, when you align your awareness with the deeper laws that shape reality, everything changes. So what are these deeper laws? Across every level of existence, from galaxies to cells, the same principles guide creation. 1. The universe is a mirror of consciousness. Your life reflects your awareness. 2. Awareness is shared. Every person you meet is a reflection of yourself. 3. Attention fuels growth. What you focus on, you amplify. 4. There's order in everything. Your experiences aren't random, they're meaningful. 5. Life unfolds with efficiency. Right now, the universe is giving you the best outcome possible from your level of awareness. 6. Everything evolves. So do you. 7. Consciousness moves toward unity. Your true self is one with everything. 8. Adaptation is creative. You are designed to grow by leaps, not just steps. 9. Chaos serves evolution. Even disorder has purpose. 10. You exist in many dimensions. Time and space are not the limits of who you are. These aren't theories. They're truths embedded in every moment of your life. Think about it. Each time your awareness expands, something new emerges. Just like water is more than hydrogen and oxygen, your spiritual transformation is more than a sum of your parts. It's a quantum leap, an alchemy of being. And when that leap happens, you gain new capacities. Clarity of awareness, you see life as it is, not as your fears paint it. Fearlessness, you trust the process, even when you can't see the path. Wholeness, you stop feeling divided. You become one with the world, inside and out. Reverence for life, you feel connected to others, to nature, to existence itself. Non-attachment, you let go of clinging. And find peace. These aren't fantasies. They're emergent properties of a mind aligned with truth. And you don't need to renounce the world to find them. You simply need to shift how you relate to it. Every event becomes a mirror. Every person becomes a messenger. Every challenge becomes a doorway. So when life surprises you, a job loss, a breakup, an accident, you can ask, why did I create this? What lesson is waiting in this moment? How is this part of my evolution? That's how you move from reaction to creation. In the old system, life happens to you. In the spiritual system, life happens through you. And that shift, that choice to see meaning instead of randomness, is the beginning of transformation. You're not here to be a victim of circumstance. You're here to remember you're a creator. You're here to remember. Every life is spiritual. Especially yours. Chapter 8, Evil is not your enemy. Evil. The word alone chills us. It conjures images of cruelty, war, abuse, genocide, things we can't bear to look at, let alone understand. But if we believe that the universe is one reality, that everything is connected and consciousness is the foundation of all things, then we must also accept this shocking truth. Evil is not separate from you. It is not your enemy. It is a shadow of your own self. This is the 8th secret. And it's not meant to shock or condemn, it's meant to free. You are not here to wage war against the darkness. You are here to transform it. And transformation begins with one powerful step, understanding. Let's begin with a hard truth. Spirituality has failed in the face of evil. Religions that preach love have launched holy wars. Followers of peace have turned into persecutors. Even good people fall prey to hatred, judgment, and fear. So often, we see evil as out there, a force that attacks us from the outside. But what if the real battlefield is within? The greatest illusion is duality, light versus dark, good versus evil, God versus Satan. But in one reality, there is no division. Everything, yes, everything, is an expression of consciousness. So where does evil come from? Not from some cosmic villain. Not from hell or fate. It comes from the shadow, the part of ourselves we hide, repress, deny. The fear we won't face. The anger we suppress. The shame we bury. Left unexamined, these grow. They distort. They seek expression. Every person carries a shadow. Even you. Even me. Even saints and sages. And when we pretend that we don't, the shadow gets stronger. In the Stanford prison experiment, normal students, smart, decent, moral, were assigned the roles of guards. Within days, they became sadistic, abusive, even dangerous. Not because they were evil, but because their shadow was given a playground. Evil isn't some rare mutation. It's a latent energy in all of us, awakened under the right conditions: anonymity, fear, power imbalance, chaos, repression. Hospitals, prisons, war zones. Even homes and schools can nurture these shadows. But here's the truth that frees us. Evil is not a force. It's a distortion. A misfiring of consciousness. And what distorts consciousness? Shame. Guilt. Rage. Rejection. Fear. Suppressed emotions stored deep in the unconscious mind. These become like energetic pressure cookers. They demand release. And when they finally surface, if we're not aware, they explode. But the shadow doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to be seen. It wants to be felt. It wants to come home. Think of it like a child throwing a tantrum because it was ignored too long. Rage, grief, anxiety, even violence, they are all cries for attention from energies we've banished. So how do we begin healing? We face the shadow. Gently. Consistently. Honestly. Step by step. 1. Recognize when you're triggered by anger, fear, jealousy, judgment. 2. Pause. Feel where it lives in your body. Don't analyze it, feel it. 3. Breathe into it. Allow the emotion to speak. 4. Ask for release. Let the energy move, through tears, voice, or movement. 5. Reflect. What did this emotion want to teach you? What truth was buried beneath it? This isn't weakness. It's the deepest strength, to look into your own darkness and bring it into the light. The shadow is not just where evil hides, it's where genius hides. Creativity, love, power, and beauty all live there too, trapped beneath your fear of being too much, too emotional, not enough. And yes, this inner work may seem small in a world of mass violence and war. But healing starts with one person. One mind willing to stop projecting evil outward. One heart open to ending the inner war. You may ask, what about the truly evil? What about murderers? Abusers? Dictators? Are we to excuse them? No. We don't excuse evil. We don't allow harm. But we do seek to understand it, because without understanding, there can be no transformation. Evil flourishes when people are unconscious, when shame festers, when fear runs rampant, when humanity forgets its own light. But when you choose awareness, when you choose to face your shadow, when you choose to meet your darkness with compassion rather than judgment, you end the cycle. You stop feeding evil with your silence, your fear, your projection. The world doesn't need more outrage. It needs more consciousness. So the next time you feel anger rise, don't suppress it. Witness it. Let it speak. Let it guide you to what needs healing. The next time you judge another, ask, what part of me do they mirror? This is the path to wholeness. This is the revolution of the soul. You're not here to defeat evil. You're here to dissolve it, by waking up. Because in the light of your awareness, evil has no power. Chapter 9, you live in multidimensions. You are not one person. You are not one mind. You are not one reality. You are multidimensional. And the ninth secret is this. You live in many dimensions of consciousness, whether you know it or not. Last week, I met two people. One was a passionate humanitarian who fights to end child labor in third world factories. The other was a healer who works with unseen energy fields and speaks with spirit guides. They couldn't have been more different in practice, but in truth, they were navigating the same mystery. How can I be spiritual in a world ruled by materialism? Each had found their answer, but each believed it was the only answer. What they didn't realize is something powerful: both were right. Why? Because consciousness doesn't come in just one flavor. It's not either/or. It's all and. You aren't confined to one version of reality. You can move between layers of existence, and each one has its own rules, its own truths, its own gifts. These aren't abstract philosophies. They're the hidden dimensions that shape your daily life. Pure being, the state of simply existing. Conditioned bliss, joy that arises just from being alive. Love, the force that bonds all things. Knowingness, the inner intelligence that just knows. Myth and archetypes, the stories and symbols that drive us. Intuition, quiet insights that guide you beyond reason. Imagination, the realm of creation, invention, and vision. Reason, the logical structures of science and analysis. Emotion, the world of feeling, meaning, and connection. Physical body, your sensory interface with the world. You live in all of these dimensions, but most of us only operate in one or two. The rest? They lie dormant, squeezed out by routine, distraction, or disbelief. So let's ask the real question. Where do you focus your awareness? That's the key. Because consciousness is not fixed, it's fluid. Where you place your attention, you build your reality. Imagine you're looking at a driver passed out in a car that veered into a snowbank. A mechanic might blame the steering wheel. A neurologist might blame brain activity. A psychologist might blame depression. A poet might say he was lost in thought. Which answer is correct? All of them, from their dimension of focus. Reality is layered. The answers you get depend on the level you're living from. Science isn't wrong, it's one slice of the infinite. Myth isn't fantasy, it's another kind of truth. A healer shifting subtle energy is no less valid than an activist protesting injustice. So what's the highest form of spirituality? Not picking one dimension over another, but living from all of them. Opening all the doors of awareness, not just the ones you're used to. You don't need to become someone new. You need to reclaim the parts of you that have been waiting, your intuition, your mythic sense of purpose, your raw joy, your buried creativity. When these doors are open, you feel eternal, rooted in pure being. You move with joy, not just reaction. You love deeply, including yourself. You sense wisdom without needing proof. You live your story as a hero's journey. You trust hunches that defy logic. You create what never existed before. You think clearly and act with purpose. You feel deeply without drowning. And you honor your body as sacred. But when those doors close, what we call avidya or ignorance, life becomes flat, mechanical, heavy. You may feel like something is missing. That's because it is. A dimension of you is asleep. So how do we awaken it? Start with awareness. Ask yourself, where have I rejected imagination? When did I stop feeling wonder? Have I silenced my intuition? Do I avoid emotion? Dismiss myth? Resist love? The answers aren't to shame you, they're to reclaim you. Each part of you is valid. Each dimension has a gift. Don't be content to live only in logic or sensation. Don't limit yourself to what can be measured. You are wired for vidya, true knowledge. Not just information, but transformation. Wisdom that changes you from the inside out. Picasso had it through creativity. Mozart through music. Gandhi through compassion. You have your own path. Your job isn't to choose one dimension. Your job is to live them all. Because in the end, spirituality isn't about ascending to another world. It's about waking up fully in this one. You don't have to escape materialism. You don't have to reject science. You simply need to go beyond it, into the infinite reality waiting within you. Chapter 10, Death Makes Life Possible. If spirituality hired a marketing team, they'd probably use the oldest trick in the book. Scare people about dying. Death has always been the great unknown. The final curtain. The edge of everything. And that fear, deep, primal, has fueled religions, rituals, and spiritual seeking for millennia. But what if death isn't an ending? What if death is not a brutal rupture, but a continuation? What if death actually makes life possible? This is the 10th secret. We don't need poetic metaphors to see this. Death isn't just something that waits at the end. It's happening right now. Every second, your body is dying and being reborn. Your skin sloughs off. Cells self-destruct to protect your health. Thoughts fade. Emotions pass. Even the you that existed 5 years ago is gone. You are not who you were. You are not who you will be. You are becoming, not staying. Think about it, if you're going to heaven, which version of you shows up? The child? The teenager? The idealized adult? Every stage is gone. Only one part of you remains constant, the witness. That quiet, observing presence. The I am behind every change. The secret is this: you aren't the body, and you aren't the mind. You're the field in which both body and mind rise and fall. You're not in the world. The world is in you. So what really happens at death? It's not the soul leaving the body. It's the body leaving the soul. The body, always changing, simply stops returning. But you, the observer, don't disappear. You can't. Why? Because the real you was never tied to space and time in the first place. Let's go deeper. Before you remember anything, before the name of the person you love, or what you ate last night, there is a place where all your potential lives. In ancient wisdom, this field is called Akasha, the soul space. It's not a fantasy. It's the invisible backdrop to everything you've ever known. You don't go anywhere when you die. You return to where you've always been. Like TV channels floating invisibly through the air, your soul is already present in a field of pure potential. Your karma, your choices, select which program appears on the screen of life. And when this life ends, the channel simply changes. So is death scary? Only if you cling to the ego's illusion of continuity. The ego fears death because it wants everything to stay the same. But let go of that illusion, and you realize you've been dying all along. You've also been rebirthing, every single moment. You are not a fixed thing. You're a process of becoming, forever in motion, forever reaching into the unknown. And here's the paradox: death isn't the opposite of life. Death is the engine of life. Your body knows this. Inside you is a beautiful process called apoptosis, programmed cell death. It's not a disease. It's how you stay alive. Cells die on schedule, gracefully, to make room for healing, growth, and evolution. Your brain, your skin, your immune system, they depend on dying to keep living. Even cancer, ironically, is what happens when cells refuse to die. They reject the natural rhythm, and that imbalance becomes deadly. The body has always known what the mind forgets. Death isn't destruction. Death is design. And if your cells already know how to die every day in peace, maybe your soul does too. But here's where the 10th secret becomes transformative. You can die consciously. Not later. Now. You can let go of your past self, old beliefs, stale identities, the weight of I, me, and mine. When you do that, life returns with full vitality. You stop recycling the same thoughts. You stop chasing what's already expired. And in its place, something new can rise. This is surrender, not weakness, but power. Surrender is not giving up. It's opening up. It means being fully present. Appreciating what is. Dropping judgment. Welcoming love. Letting go of the ego's grip. When you surrender, you stop snatching life from the jaws of death. You stop living in fear. You start living in fullness. So, what will death be like? Maybe it will feel like slipping into another dream. Maybe it will feel like waking up. Whether you believe in heaven, reincarnation, or just mystery, what happens after death will reflect your consciousness. Heaven and hell are not places you're sent to. They are states of awareness you carry with you. But here's the most liberating truth of all. You don't have to wait until you die to stop fearing death. You can let go, today. And when you do, something beautiful happens. You live more vividly. You love more freely. You forgive more easily. You become more yourself. The poet Tagore once asked, "What will you give when death knocks at your door?" His answer? The fullness of my life. The sweet wine of autumn days and summer nights. My little hoard gleaned through the years. And hours rich with living. That will be my gift when death knocks at my door. You don't need to fear death when you've been fully alive. And being fully alive means dying a little every day. To the past, to fear, to illusion. So you can keep becoming who you truly are. Chapter 11, The Universe Thinks Through You. What if the universe isn't a distant, mechanical backdrop to your life, but a living, breathing presence that thinks through you? That's the 11th secret. You are not separate from the universe. You are its living thought. It may sound poetic or mystical, but this truth is grounded in both ancient wisdom and modern physics. You don't simply exist in the universe, you are the expression of it. Let's start with something simple. Have you ever had a coincidence too perfect to ignore? A thought that turned into reality? A moment that felt like the universe whispered just to you? One such moment happened to me with a man who claimed to be able to read minds. Skeptical but curious, I wrote down a question about my wife's return from India. Without seeing it, he closed his eyes, chanted a mantra, and said, "Tuesday. You're asking about your wife." He was right. And yet he brushed it off like it was nothing. I was left wondering, how did he know? Was it psychic ability? Or something deeper, some shared field of thought? Moments like this challenge the idea that our thoughts are private, that we're isolated beings. They suggest that what we call free will might just be the tip of a much larger iceberg. In the Indian tradition, The hidden forces that guide our behavior are called vashanas, unconscious tendencies, patterns of thought and behavior that shape how we act, without us even realizing it. A friend of mine once had a powerful realization. "I sit on the fence," he said. "That's my vasana. I'm only comfortable when I don't have to choose." And in that moment, his whole life suddenly made sense: his fear of commitment, his constant moving, his ambivalence about love. All of it, driven by an invisible force. This is what vashanas do. They make you think you're free, while you live on autopilot. But here's the deeper truth. Vashanas aren't your prison. They're your doorway. When you become aware of them, you begin to shift from unconscious karma to conscious being. You start to live in what the ancients called dharma, the natural intelligence of the universe flowing through your life. Dharma is not a rule book. It's not about duty or morality. It's a force. A direction. A gentle whisper that says, "It's time to grow." And when you're in dharma, the signs are clear. Life begins to flow. Events align. You feel expansive, creative, awake. You see yourself, not as the old version, stuck in old roles, but as someone becoming new. Dharma is how the universe evolves. And you are its instrument. That's what this secret reveals. You are the universe in motion. The cosmos. Thinking through you. Think of it like this: the universe has two nervous systems. One runs automatically, regulating stars, tides, ecosystems, your heartbeat. But the other? It's voluntary. It's desire. And that part belongs to you. Your longing, your dreams, your vision, those aren't just personal whims. They're the universe stretching, growing, learning what else it can become. So when you say, "I want to create something," the universe says, "So do I." Your thoughts, then, are not isolated bubbles in your mind. They are part of the great intelligence that drives all of life forward. When you choose expansion over fear. When you follow a quiet nudge to grow. When you surrender old patterns and step into something new. You are aligning with that intelligence. You are living as a creator within the creation. But what happens when you resist? When you feel stuck, confused, or held back? Then karma takes over. The old patterns return. Vashanas pull you back into repetition. It's not punishment. It's just inertia. Yet even in stuckness, the universe waits. And it whispers, "When you're ready, we'll move again." That's why it's so important to talk to the universe. Not metaphorically, literally. Start a dialogue. Ask, "What do you want to show me today?" Listen to what nature says. To what your body says. To what silence says. This is how you begin to live with the universe as your partner. My granddaughter talks to dragons, trees, and clouds. She knows everything is alive. And she's right. Because to be fully human is not to outgrow wonder, it's to return to it. So go ahead, talk to the stars. Speak to the rain. Ask the universe a question and wait for the answer. You'll begin to feel something extraordinary. That life isn't happening to you. It's happening through you. Because you are not a separate self navigating a cold, impersonal world. You are the universe, aware of itself, dreaming in your form. You are its thought. You are its voice. You are its next great idea. Chapter 12. There is no time but now. Have you ever had a moment when everything just made sense? You felt grounded? Present? Awake? The people around you felt like they were meant to be there. Life pulsed with a quiet harmony. And for a fleeting second, time vanished, and all that remained was now. That's the 12th secret. There is no time but now. It sounds simple. Even obvious. But this is one of the deepest truths we can live. Because time, as we usually know it, is a trick. We carve it into past, present, and future, but the mind doesn't live in tidy segments. It races forward. It drags backward. It clings to yesterday and worries about tomorrow. But reality? Reality only happens here. It only happens now. You felt this truth. In laughter that surprises you. In moments of silence that feel full. In the rhythm of music, the embrace of a loved one, or even in pain so sharp that time stops. And yet, we rarely stay there. Why? Because the mind clings to the illusion of linear time. We say, "Time flies. I'm running out of time. I need more time." But when you're present, truly present, time doesn't move. It unfolds. Moment by moment. like a single pearl passed hand to hand. In mindfulness practices, especially in Buddhism, this is the core: to become aware of the present moment without judgment, without commentary, without clinging. It's like happiness, you don't realize you're in it until you say, "I'm happy," and suddenly it slips away. Being present means catching the moment before the mind labels it. Before it turns now into then. Before thought replaces experience. But here's the twist: even time itself is a kind of relationship. You're not just watching time. You're participating in it. Just like your relationships with friends, lovers, or the world, your relationship with time can be one of fear and control. Or one of freedom and flow. When you're anxious, time becomes a weight. When you're depressed, time freezes. When you're joyful, time expands. When you're fully alive, time disappears. So what does it really mean to live in the now? It's not about sitting still or clearing your mind of all thought. It's about presence, attention, aliveness. It's knowing that the universe isn't counting seconds, it's dancing with you in this very breath. Imagine your mind like a river. Most of us live on the surface, racing thoughts, fast currents, urgency, drama, to-do lists. But if you dive deeper, the water slows. Silence expands. And at the riverbed, beneath the noise, you find the still point, the place where being lies. That's where the real now exists. Not at the surface, but in the stillness beneath it. And you've been there before. You've tasted it. In prayer. In meditation. In nature. In love. The question isn't if you've experienced it, but whether you can live from it. Because in truth, the present moment is the only place where transformation can happen. It's the only place where you can meet the universe as it truly is, alive, intelligent, intimate. So how do we return to the now? Start by noticing when you're not present. Are you rehearsing the past? Obsessing over the future? Caught in stories that drain your energy? Then begin to strip away the excess. Let go of racing the clock. Let go of regret and anticipation. Let go of needing to fix the future or correct the past. Instead, immerse yourself in the rhythm of reality as it unfolds: a breath, a sound, a heartbeat, a breeze. These are the gateways to now. And from that presence, your life changes. You begin to see that time is not your enemy. It's not running out. It's not something to manage. It's something to merge with. In the state of presence, your actions are no longer reactions. They're responses to life's invitation. And your deepest desires, what the Sanskrit tradition calls sankalpa, or intention, start to manifest more naturally, without strain. Why? Because when you're fully present, the universe can meet you. And when that happens, time bends. The past heals. The future opens. And now becomes a doorway to something timeless. So how do you begin? Start simple. Talk to the universe. Treat it like it's listening, because it is. Pay attention to synchronicities, inner nudges, the quiet beauty of ordinary things. Treat each moment as a message. Be like the child who still sees magic in trees, in clouds, in dragons only she can see. She's not imagining a different world. She's tuned into the deeper layers of this one. In the end, the secret isn't about time management. It's about presence management. The only real time on the clock is now. And the only place to find yourself is here. Chapter 13, You are truly free when you are not a person. Freedom. We talk about it. We chase it. We fight for it. But what if the deepest, most liberating kind of freedom isn't about rights, choices, or control at all? What if true freedom begins the moment you stop being a person? That's the 13th and final secret. Several years ago, I found myself in a small village outside New Delhi, sitting in a dim room beside an old man and a young priest. The priest, draped in simple cloth and shining with coconut oil, chanted from ancient bark scrolls, written in Tamil, a language I didn't understand. And yet, what he read changed me forever. Without knowing my name or background, he listed intimate details of my life, my birth date, the names of my parents, my children, even the hour of my father's death. One detail was off, until a phone call to my mother revealed a long-forgotten truth. The name the priest read had been hers before an uncle changed it when she was 3. This wasn't a parlor trick. The scroll he read from, called a Nadi, had been written centuries ago. The person who inscribed it never met me. Yet he described me, not as a man of flesh and thought, but as a pattern, a ripple in consciousness echoing through time. In that moment, the illusion cracked. I saw myself not as a fixed me, but as a wave passing through the universe, part of a vast design written not in ink, but in awareness. You are not a person. You are presence. And presence doesn't come with a resume. It doesn't cling to identity, or ego, or the roles we play. It watches. It creates. It releases. Eastern wisdom has always spoken of detachment. Not as apathy, but as the calm that comes after creation. The artist paints, then lets the painting go. The actor steps off stage. The soul lives an experience, then moves on. But we don't let go, do we? We cling to identity, to the stories we've told ourselves, to suffering dressed up as truth. Even our pursuit of happiness is tightly bound to our personal story. But happiness tied to the ego is fragile, because the ego lives in fear. Fear of losing. Fear of not being enough. Fear of disappearing. So we race for success. Chase love. Protect ourselves. And yet, even when we win, we wonder, why doesn't this feel like enough? It's because we're chasing happiness in a place it cannot last. True happiness lives where ego cannot go. In the non-local, beyond the boundaries of me. The Greek word metanoia means a change of heart, a turning towards something higher. Not repentance. Not shame. But transformation. That's what freedom truly is, the shift from local to non-local awareness. From being a person to being presence itself. This doesn't mean erasing your identity. It means realizing that identity is a role, one of many. Like a skilled actor, you can play many parts, but none of them is who you truly are. You are the space between roles. You are the one who watches from beyond the curtain. And here's the miracle, you already do this. Every day, you switch roles, child, parent, friend, boss, lover. Each has its own thoughts, reactions, and energy. They live in you simultaneously, like a library of lives waiting to be read. But what lives before the first page is turned? That's the real you. The master key is detachment. Not disinterest, but mastery. When you detach from your roles, you step outside karma's grip. You no longer act from compulsion. You begin to create consciously. This is what sages meant by salvation. Redemption. Awakening. The ability to live as the soul. Without dying first. The shift is subtle, yet seismic. You stop asking, how do I make me happy? And begin asking, what wants to unfold through me? And when you do, the struggle softens. Life becomes less about pushing and more about aligning. Less about clinging and more about allowing. You begin to feel the deeper truths of being. Happiness is not a goal. It's a byproduct of essence. Presence doesn't need to be earned. It's your birthright. Freedom doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from letting go of who you think you are. You are not your suffering. You are not your success. You are not even your name. You are the awareness behind it all, watching, guiding, expanding. So how do you live like that? Start small. Before the day begins, meet it. Sit quietly. Let go of yesterday. Don't rush into habit. Just be. Let your awareness touch the unborn day. In that moment, you are influencing creation, not through effort, but through presence. And throughout the day, practice spiritual sobriety. Catch yourself when you're lost in thought. Watch how you speak, how you react. Question your ego's demands. Pull back from chaos and return to center. And most of all, remember, this isn't personal. The universe isn't doing anything to you. It's moving through you. And when you stop trying to be someone, you realize something astounding. You are already free. Not because you've escaped the world, but because you've remembered. You were never bound to begin with. Chapter 14, The Meaning of Life is Everything. What is the meaning of life? It's the question that echoes across every era, culture, and soul. Philosophers debate it. Mystics feel it. Scientists probe its edges. And yet, no answer seems final. No truth complete. So here's the 14th and final secret. The meaning of life is everything. Not just one thing. Not a single purpose or answer sealed in a fortune cookie of cosmic wisdom. Not a line of text you could print and send to the world and expect every soul, young bride, dying elder, skeptic, seeker, to nod in universal agreement. Instead, the answer might be this: a blank piece of paper. Or perhaps, one that simply reads everything. Because life refuses to be pinned down. It's not one thing, it's all things. A boundless field of potential that means exactly what you decide it means. And whatever you choose, the universe will reflect it back to you, faithfully. In medieval Europe, the cosmos reflected devotion to the Holy Trinity. In ancient India, it danced with Shiva and Shakti. In Islamic cultures, it mirrored the will of Allah. Today, it mirrors scientific skepticism or spiritual confusion, or if you choose, limitless awe. The universe is a mirror, and you are both the reflection and the viewer. Try to make it only one thing, and you shrink your own life. But let it be everything, and it becomes your playground. Even modern science now acknowledges what ancient mystics long understood: consciousness comes first. The world outside us is shaped by the world inside us. Quantum physics shows that a particle exists in all places until it is observed, only then does it settle into one spot. The universe, in its off position, is pure potential. But once you observe it, once you engage, it flickers on, and takes form. That's how reality works. You are not merely in the universe. You are creating it, moment by moment, choice by choice. In medicine, this duality plays out in astonishing ways. There are women who visualize tumors dissolving, and they do. Others who survive years beyond their diagnosis by changing their beliefs. Meanwhile, some die not from cancer, but from the shock of hearing they have it. This isn't pseudoscience. It's the power of the mind-body connection. Consciousness speaks in many voices: emotion, image, sensation, and the body listens. Whether from a drug or a dream, healing can come when the signal is strong and true. And it's not just healing. It's creation. When Mozart composed, every layer of his being worked in harmony: mind, emotion, nerves, intention, silence. All of it rising together, not step by step but simultaneously. No cause. No effect. Just simultaneous interdependent co-arising. This principle shapes all of reality. Everything arises together. Nothing exists in isolation. The Big Bang didn't just produce stars, it produced you. And every atom of your body hums with the same music. The cosmos needed a witness, and it made you. Not an accident. Not a side effect. A conscious observer capable of peering into the infinite. What if you are putting on the whole show? Quantum physics already admits it: reality doesn't become real until you participate. And when you dive into the off position, into pure potential, you access everything. Past. Future. Healing. Growth. Expansion. You live at the center of possibility. So how do you tap into this field of everything? How do you create the meaning of life? Here's how. 1. Go deep. The deeper into silence you go, the more power you awaken. 2. Begin with awareness. Every shift starts there. 3. Create from stillness. Let intention rise from the quiet. 4. Expect quantum leaps. Real change doesn't unfold linearly. 5. Know that beginnings and endings arise together. 6. Create in the direction of evolution, not against it. 7. Know that the universe responds to you, the real you. If you close your mind, the universe reflects your boundaries. A loveless heart sees a loveless world. But an open soul sees infinity, love, potential, everything. This is how evolution works. It doesn't shove meaning on you. It offers it. It waits. It watches what you choose. And when you're ready, it leaps with you. Even your deepest skills, like reading, art, music, weren't needed in prehistory. Yet they emerged because consciousness prepared the way. The brain evolved for what was to come, not for what was. Because consciousness always sees the next step. The next leap. The next expansion. And what's the final leap? Unity. Not as a theory, but as a lived truth. Not as something to reach for, but to remember. To close the gap between you and the universe, not by force, but by understanding. True understanding doesn't come from thinking. It comes from being. From passion. From commitment. From showing up fully, again and again. When you do that, when you engage your whole being, everything changes. Because you're not just acting. You're evolving. Passion isn't reckless. It's courageous. It exposes you. Yes, even your flaws. But it also releases all your energy, your brilliance, your beauty, your voice, your truth. And that's the final message of this journey. Don't play small. Don't wait for permission. Don't settle for half-truths. The meaning of life isn't hidden. It's not waiting in the stars. It's here. Now. In you. In everything. So open your arms. Step forward. And live like you mean it. Chapter 15, Everything is Pure Essence. After all the questions, all the peeling back of beliefs, roles, and illusions, we arrive here. At the center of it all. At essence. Essence isn't a thing you can touch, name, or hold. It's not even a feeling. It's the silent origin of all things, pure being, awareness, and creativity flowing without effort. It's the quiet source behind every sound, every face, every idea. And the truth is this. You are essence. Not the thoughts you think. Not the roles you play. Not even the soul you imagine yourself to be. Essence is what remains when all else falls away. And in that stillness, something miraculous happens. You realize you were never missing anything. You were simply looking in the wrong direction. We imagine we're building our lives like painters, deciding what to draw, what to color in. But the canvas, the paint, the hand that guides it all? That's essence too. A point of awareness, infinitely small, from which the entire universe is drawn. You conceive life. You step into it. And you keep it alive through your presence. This threefold act, imagining, creating, and inhabiting, is the divine dance. And you are the dancer. Yet when you truly see it, words fail. Even saying I am feels too heavy. What remains is the soft shimmer of being. Many seekers expect enlightenment to be a grand unveiling. Instead, it often arrives as a vanishing act. Differences disappear. Desires quiet. Time and space collapse into a single, timeless now. And that can be disorienting. At the very moment you feel closest to truth. Your hands may feel empty. Because essence holds no form. It gives birth to all, yet it is nothing itself. Even God, for many, vanishes, unless he is seen as essence. That's what the great sage Nisargadatta Maharaj meant when he said, I am not the devotee. I am not the object of devotion. I am devotion itself. Radical? Yes. But also deeply liberating. Because essence isn't interested in better or worse, rich or poor, light or dark. It only holds three truths. I exist. I am aware. I create. All else is commentary. So what does it mean to live from essence? It means trusting these truths enough to stop chasing meaning outside yourself. It means resting in presence, aware that you are not separate from life, but its very core. The ancient text Yoga Vashista goes even further. In words as sharp and clear as mountain air, it describes the universe as no more than ripples in consciousness. Whole worlds rise and fall like particles of dust in a beam of light. For Vashista, the world isn't something to be escaped or conquered, it's something to be seen through. And if you want to live at that level, 4 qualities must take root in you. Contentment, the quiet joy of resting in what is. Inquiry, the courage to question all that isn't real. Self-awareness, the inner gaze that sees clearly. Strength, the resilience to walk this path alone, without applause or reward. These aren't abstract ideals. They are the doorway to waking up. Because once you've stripped away the noise, the roles, the stories, only essence remains. And in that, you are free. Not someday. Not after more effort. But now. Essence is not far. It is you. If this resonated with you, don't just scroll away. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next secret in this journey. Your transformation is just getting started. The next chapter is even deeper. I'll meet you there.